What's going on, guys? It's Tina. I just want to check in, have another video in a little bit. I actually have content that I want to release. I just got to, put it together and edit it and get it out there. But I just want to give you an update. Today is Sunday, November the 17th. As you see my phone here, let me just to kind of give you an update as what is going on. As of today, good news. My husband is out, guys. He is out. We got him out on Thursday. Hallelujah. Like, God is good. When I tell you God moved some mountains to make this thing happen, God did his thing. My husband is home. We are really, really happy that he is back. So he got home Thursday night. It is Sunday. So he's just been really taking the time to decompress. We have been very prayerful and just really thankful to God that he is out. I don't have to worry about what they're trying to do to him in that facility at Garner. I don't have to worry about that anymore. He is here. I wake up every morning just thanking God that when I look over to my side, he is right there next to me. So I'm very, very happy about that. So I thank you guys for all the support, all of the prayers, all of the calls, like everybody that's been checking on me. You guys have been amazing. So God made a way for us to get him out. And so that's what we did. So here we are today. Like I said, it's Sunday, November the 17th. All right. So one of the things that happened when he got out. So for those of you that have been watching, I don't know if you've seen every video where I've done updates, but a lot of you guys know that I live in Georgia. I am born and raised in Georgia. My husband has also lived in Georgia for over 30 years. He is not a resident of Connecticut. The only reason why he comes here is because his parents live here and they have been living here for 50 years, right? If his parents weren't here, there'd be no reason for him to ever come to Connecticut. So with that said, we were able to bond my husband out on Thursday, but the courts required him to remain in Connecticut. They have barred him from going back to his home in Georgia. So he's been made to stay here in Connecticut. We weren't happy about that. Our hope was that we could freely go back to Georgia and then travel back here to Connecticut for his court dates and things that he needed to take care of on the legal side. But that's okay because I know God has a plan. One of the last videos I did with you guys, I talked to you about how Dad was home. Well, an update on that, Dad is back in the hospital again. Definitely not what we expected. He is back there again. My hope and my prayer is that he will be back home before Thanksgiving. I'll let you guys know how that goes as well. It just goes to say, man, I mean, the whole reason why we were here is because we felt like the entire family felt like, that's Mom, Dad himself, me and hubby felt like the hospital was not really taking care of him the way they should have been, right? And I really feel like it was a situation where they had two elderly people and they wanted to run over them, do whatever they wanted to do, take advantage of their Medicare, and they didn't really care about anything else. And when you look at the reviews for the Stanford Hospital, the sentiment that you will pull from all of the reviews, they have so many one-star reviews, right? When you go in there and you look at what people are saying, it matches up to the experience that my family has had, that these people don't care, that the care is awful, and the way they treat you and so on and so forth. Stanford Hospital, read the reviews. But anyway, so Dad's back in the hospital. My hope and my prayer is that he will be back home with us as a family before Thanksgiving. One of the things, Dad went in the hospital about a little over a week ago. And I didn't tell my husband because I didn't want him to worry about it. And so I actually had just told him like the day after he had gotten out, because I thought that was going to be best for him. And he was like, man, he said one of the things he said was, I went through all of this and I'm still not able to see my father. Right. He came up here September 28th, wanting to see his father. He only got to see his dad for maybe not even 10 minutes before all of this stuff happened. Hadn't been able to see his dad since, and he finally gets home and now Dad's not here. Now Dad's in the hospital, right? And he can't see him. And yes, for those of you that are wondering, he's back at that same hospital again. One of the things that I dislike about Stanford, where I live in Atlanta, you have your choice of hospitals. There's no monopoly when it comes to hospitals. You can go wherever you want. There are so many hospitals within a very short mile radius, right? But here is not the case. Stanford has one main hospital, one, no, actually, no, they have one hospital. And if you want to go to another one, you have to go into another district. Well, the next option for a hospital in another district, their reviews are just as bad as Stanford Hospital. They just don't have a great healthcare system here in this city, right? So that's kind of the battle that we're up against. But anyway, here we are. My hubby is out. Our dad's back in the hospital. We're praying that he's going to be home in time for Thanksgiving as well. So those are the two things that we have going on. So I kind of want to talk about what else has been happening. And I've shared with you guys how there's just been a lot of stuff that's just questionable shit that people are doing, like stuff that's like, I know this is not right type of stuff, right? And that's just the way it has been here in Stanford for the last I've been here over a month now, 45 days now, and everybody is moving really weird in this city right now. So one of the things that we have been trying to reiterate and push to this attorney that we have is that, hey, there's evidence that we need you to get. There's video footages that he has not gotten yet that will prove that my husband is not the danger to society that the judge was trying to paint him out to be, that the district attorney was trying to paint him out to be. And we said to the attorney over and over again, we need these footages, being very detailed about the footages that we need. And every time we go and we ask him about it, he doesn't have an answer. He hasn't requested the footage. And the very last time I talked to him, actually, I asked him at the courthouse the day that we were going to get my husband out, where's the footage? What's the update on the footage? And he told me he hadn't had time to ask for it. So my husband and I and our family, we are concerned that they've destroyed this footage, the footage that's going to show that my husband is not a danger to society. We believe that they're going to destroy this footage, y'all. The only footage that we have so far is the footage from the police cams. That only paints the picture of what happened when the police got on site. It doesn't even show what happened leading up to that event. And that is the very important evidence that we need. And the attorney is not in any hurry to get it. Now, if that doesn't raise an eyebrow, I don't know what does. Right. So like I told you before, when you watch that other video, when I was talking about this attorney and I was talking about how it shouldn't be this hard, guys, I feel like I've been doing all the work. I literally feel like I've been doing all the work, right? So here we are right now. We're battling with that. We're going to pay this dude to do a job that he really hasn't been doing. So we got that going on. And then this coming week, we got people that we're trying to, link up to get into the fold. We're working with the Veterans Association, which I think is going to be a huge plus as well. And let me tell you something else shady that happened. So our contact at the Veterans Association mailed some paperwork to the facility where my husband was at. And my husband never got the paperwork. And I guarantee you, it's not that it wasn't there. They just did not let my husband know it was there. He was like, you got stuff like this happening where people are getting in the way of you trying to do the things that you're trying to do, right? So this is happening in so many instances. We got the attorney not doing what he's supposed to do, right? We got shady business with the district attorney. Don't let me even go into how he lied in the courtroom on Thursday, right? And then we got the judge that we had previously who was really exhibiting some real bias, right? And so we've already said we don't want to work with this particular judge. And I was very vocal with the attorney on that. And so when we had our bond out court date on Thursday, we got a new judge. So I was like, thank goodness we got a new judge. I never want to see that other judge again. I believe there are some biases with that judge and I don't want to see him again. And so he's history as far as I'm concerned. But there's just a lot of things that we're trying to get done and people are like standing in the way and nobody's like, nobody wants to move for you and get these things done that need to be done. So for the attorney to say, I haven't had time to request that footage is some bullshit. This guy is supposed to be defending us and he's not defending us. He actually, as far as I'm concerned, he's working for them. His actions tell me that he's working for them. The way he is slow walking things and he's not getting things done that need to be done for his client tells me that he's working for them and not for us. And I'm not really happy about that because dude's got our money, right? You pay somebody for a service, you expect that service, right? And that's not the case. That's not what is happening here. And from several people that I've talked to, they're saying that all the attorneys in the state of Connecticut are like that. That is some disheartening news, right? You telling me that this state don't have any upstanding attorneys, right? Any attorneys with morals and ethics. They don't have any attorneys that will fight for their clients. That's what I'm hearing, right? That's what I'm hearing. So if anybody out there knows something different, and you know a good attorney out there that will fight for their client, a good attorney that will turn over every stone to find every piece of evidence they can to exonerate their client, someone that has the work ethic and the moral ethic to do the right thing for their client, someone that's not so deep into the good old boy network that they care more about making their friends happy than exonerating their client. If you know someone like that, send them my way. I love to talk to him. I will absolutely love to talk to him. So I just kind of want to do this update to let you know, yeah, my husband is out. He got out a few days ago. Our father is back in the hospital again, so they were not able to see each other. We are battling with this attorney, trying to get evidence that he should have gotten well over a month ago, because we requested it well over a month ago. And here we are. He still hasn't, he doesn't have it. And he had to say out of it, he said of his own mouth, he don't have time to get it. Bullshit. Bullshit. We think they're going to destroy this evidence that we're asking for and we don't have, because that is the way people are moving here. Things are really, really slimy in this Stamford, Connecticut. Evil sliminess is going on right here. The treatment, the stuff that they did to my husband in both of those correctional facilities, ridiculous. You should never have to be subjected to somebody trying to pressure you to take drugs when they have no basis whatsoever for you taking these drugs. You don't even know what the drugs are they're trying to give you. They have no basis for making you take them. And then when you refuse the drugs, they want to retaliate against you by throwing you into solitary confinement, or writing bogus referrals that send you to a mental health institution, right? Which is what they did to my husband. Sent my husband to a mental health institution because he was refusing drugs that he absolutely did not need, because he doesn't have a mental illness, never ever has gone through anything that would require him to have any type of evaluation for mental health of any kind. He's perfectly fine. And you guys want to write up your own narrative because you have your own agenda that you want to fill. So you're trying to frame my husband to be this danger to society that he absolutely is not. And you trying to play this whole mental health narrative, that was just part of your evil, sick, and twisted game to character assassinate my husband, who is a 3-time war hero, served this country as a United States Army Ranger, and works in law enforcement and private investigations. What you did to him at Bridgeport Correctional, Garner Correctional, was evil and unimaginable, and it should not happen to anybody else. As far as I'm concerned, you guys tried to kill my husband. As far as I'm concerned, you tried to kill him. And the family is extremely, extremely upset about that, and we will see justice done. This is crazy. My husband is not a criminal. He is not a felon. He is a man that came up here to see his father, who he thought was dying in the ICU under terrible care by the Stanford Hospital. Terrible care. And when I tell you that hospital has done so much trying to cover their butts ever since this happened, starting from the day that everything happened on September 28th, immediately after my husband was taken off the jail, they accommodated my father and put him in another room as he requested. They unstrapped his arms from the bed, and then they started bringing all these doctors in here trying to figure this out and figure that out. I mean, dude, it was crazy how all of a sudden they become more accommodating. And our father and mother said themselves, they said, after you guys came, the hospital started to be a lot nicer to us. Why couldn't you just do that from the beginning, Stanford Hospital? Why couldn't you just do the right thing from the beginning? Why did the children have to come up here trying to advocate for dad in order for you to understand that you guys are doing things that are wrong? You guys are not doing, you're not providing the care that you should be providing. It took us having to come up here for you to start doing the right thing. And don't even get me started on how they tried to discharge our father earlier, way earlier than he should have been. Those administrators, they started to pressure mom. Oh, you need to find a facility. You need to find a facility. They were blowing her phone up when just not long ago, they were like, oh, it's going to be a long road. This is before the kids, before we showed up, and they thought, oh, we just going to run over these elderly people and run up a ticket on that Medicare money. They were telling our elderly parents it was going to be a long road, and they didn't know how long he would be in that hospital. But when we came up after the incident ensued, when they took my husband to jail for advocating for his father, then they started to change that tune. And they were like rushing my mother to find a short-term facility so they could discharge dad, right? Where just before it was a long road. Now it's like, okay, we need to hurry up and get him out of here, right? So they tried to discharge dad like super, super early. And they pressured mom to find the facility. So she finds a facility because they're pressuring her. They're blowing up her phone. I have those recordings too, where they're like pressuring her to they're bullying her to pick a place so they could get him out of the hospital. And so she chooses a place. And let me tell you what God did. The place that she chose, they refused to take him because they were also questioning, why is the hospital in such a rush? Your father just got taken off the feeding tube. They still trying to wean him off of that, and they're trying to baby step him on the solid food, and they already trying to throw him out of the hospital. But so it raised an eyebrow with the facility, and they decided, you know what, we're not going to do it because they knew the hospital was doing some shady business. So the hospital ended up having to keep our father there, do his physical therapy, get him ready to come home, right? And even then, they went ahead and they released him, right? He came home, and we were happy that he came home. But about 2 weeks later, he got sick again, and he had to go right back to the hospital. So then at least the question, okay, well, you guys released him earlier than you were supposed to. You were in such a rush to get him out of your hospital. You were in such a rush. The same people who was like, oh, it's going to be a long road. We don't know. He could be in here for months and months and months is the way they were doing it. And then all of a sudden they rushed him out of there, right? So here we are. He's back in there, and they are covering their butts unlike anything I've ever seen before. They're doing things they've never done before. You know, someone calls the house every day and they give an update on dad's care. They never did that before. They never did that before. And all of the people at the hospital, they're so nice now. Oh, they're so caring now. Oh, they're so this. They're doing all this because they know they're under a microscope. All right. We've already called you out on the crappy care that you were providing for our father. We've already called you out. And so now they're under this microscope and they're trying to be overly nice, right? Overly nice, calling every day, giving updates, being sweet and pleasant with the nurses and all of this stuff. They were not doing that before. And let me tell you the kicker, what they did recently, what mom said. Mom said recently, now this hospital is predominantly white staff, doctors, nurses, administrators, with a sprinkling of like people of color in there, not many. So she said she goes in one day and she notices they got a whole bunch of black staff around dad now. Whoa. I was like, what? She said, yeah. She said, a black doctor came in. We got black nurses all of a sudden. They got all of these people that are African-American people coming and servicing my dad, where wasn't the case before. So I'm like, what? You got what? You got some Karen up in her office or something that said, oh, give them all the black people. Maybe that'll be better, right? Give them black care people, give them black doctors, give them black nurses. I mean, that is offensive within itself that they even did that. So yes, that's what she said. Okay, yeah. She's like, all of a sudden we got a lot of black care people around us, and we never had that before. So this Stanford Hospital, y'all some dummies. You just keep making yourselves look more and more guilty every freaking day. Dude, I can't make this stuff up. I can't make it up. What we're going through right now is something that you would think you would be seeing on a TV show right now. But I'm telling you, that is what is happening. So other than that, man, I just want to let you know what's going on. Still struggling with this attorney who doesn't seem to want to do what he needs to do. Not only with the evidence that he just refuses to get, but also the way he carries himself in the courtroom. The day that my husband was released, he had to see the judge, right? The district attorney was there. District attorney was there lying and doing all these things he needed to do to make my husband look like enemy number one. Luckily, we had a new judge, so that really helped a lot. But there were so many times where the attorney had a great opportunity to defend my husband, and he did not take the opportunity. And I just cannot believe that he's that dumb. I feel like he's really doing that on purpose. And there were moments in the courtroom where I saw my husband turn to that attorney, and I saw the look on my husband's face, and my husband's like, you better say this, you better say something, you better say something, right? And I could see him doing that, and the attorney was just ignoring him, right? And it was to the point where I thought my husband was just going to be like, screw this attorney, and start talking at that judge. And then the moment that happened, the attorney actually repeated what my husband was saying to him in his ear. And it was little things like the DA was saying that my husband was a felon, which he is not. My husband is not a felon. So the district attorney has a very condensed version of my husband's Georgia record. He cannot see all the detail, right? So he's taken a very condensed version. He has very limited information, and he's running with that information, and he's making lies and assumption about my husband having a record, which he does not. My husband has never been incarcerated before. He's never been in jail. He is not a felon. So he takes a few words from some things that are on his record, and he says, oh, we already have a felon. He's got these convictions, and it's all a lie. But yet he's in the courtroom saying these things on record, right? And he's just lying just to kind of frame his case up the way he wants to frame it up. There was absolutely no reason why my husband shouldn't have been granted the opportunity to move freely between Connecticut and Georgia. He has proven that he's not a flight risk. When I bonded him out on Saturday night, Saturday, September the 28th, we didn't go anywhere. We stayed in Stamford, Connecticut, awaiting our court date that was coming up on the 11th, right? He didn't go anywhere. If he was going to be a flight risk, that was an opportunity for him to leave, and he did not, right? He didn't even go back to the hospital. That on his own decision. He said, I'm not going to go back there. I'm just going to let you guys handle it, right? So he proved right then, look, I'm not a flight risk. I'm not going to do anything crazy. I got it. I'm good, right? But still, this DA was hard pressed on, oh, we need to track him, and we need to do this, and I need him to stay in Connecticut, and blah, 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 blah. And so it was just, guys, I could not believe this dude. I just really cannot believe what he was doing in that courtroom. And even more so, I couldn't believe how the attorney that we hired to defend us was not going above and beyond to defend my husband the way that he should have, because we've already communicated with our attorney plenty of times about that condensed version of that Georgia record, that my husband is not a felon. And my husband had to get in his ear while he was in front of the judge to say, look, you need to tell that judge I'm not a felon. Why should my husband have had to tell the attorney to say to the judge he's not a felon? He should have been Johnny on the spot, right? But he wasn't. So that's just one small instance of all the things I've been dealing with since I've been trying to deal with this attorney, since I've been trying to, deal with people here in this city. It's just, there are no words to explain, what we're dealing with right now. I literally feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. I literally feel like we're on another planet. This is ridiculous, right? So yeah, man, I just want to give you that update and let you know he's out, but we still got work to do. We're still not done yet. We're still going to keep fighting this thing, and we're going to still keep trying to get this evidence. But I'm telling you, the way they're moving, they're trying to destroy it. They're trying to destroy evidence, guys. They're trying to destroy evidence. This district attorney, the way he's moving right now, I can already see he's an evil sleaze as far as that is concerned. So this is what we're up against. Stamford, Connecticut is an evil place to be, and we're going to keep praying that we can get up out of here, guys, and put this thing behind us and hold those people accountable and get the justice that we deserve. But at the end of the day, I'm happy my husband is home. I'll be even happier when dad is home as well, so that they can see each other. Dad is home. He's safe. He's recovered, and now his son is here as well. And I'm just looking forward to us being able to spend Thanksgiving together as a family, guys, in this video right here. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace and blessings. See you later. Bye.